Hello, my name is Jordan Kruse. I'll be forwarding info for the Raytown South tournament. You know, one thing I hate doing is answering the phone. When I hear the ringing of the phone, it's like an annoying alarm clock in the morning. Someone with communication skills, I cannot answer this call right now. Anyone? No one? Fine, I'll just answer it. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Oh, hi, Mom. Yes? I'm kind of recording my speech and debate video right now. Yes, I'll do my chores when I get home. I said I'll do them when I get home. No, I'm not trying to yell at you. Okay. Bye. Love you. Ugh! I hated that phone call. Don't get me wrong, I love my mom. But how many times do I have to say hello or repeat myself before you can hear me? It gets on my nerves when people cannot understand me when I speak. According to the National Institute on Deafness and Communication Disorders, roughly 5% of children will have a noticeable speech impediment when they reach the first grade, including speech sound disorders, dysarthria, or stuttering. For me, this is my reality. I go through a motor planning glitch, which means all the neurological events that take place in my head to produce a correct sound correctly is where my problem is for me. Speech impediments do not get lots of representation for them. They are hardly supported enough through schools and for the individuals affected by them. So first, we're going to be speechy and introduce what speech impediments are. Second, we are going to look into my head and understand how the brain works with speaking, as we also have a therapy talk. Finally, we're going to understand the psychological damages that affect these individuals. So you have probably had some trouble speaking at some time. Maybe you got a cold and lost your voice. Maybe you cheered at a crowd too loud and you got harsh voice. Maybe you went through puberty and it cracked a lot. Some voice problems last for a short amount of time, while others last longer, or you were just born with it. Speech and language problems last for a short amount of times, or you're just born with it. As a child, you're constantly trying to speak, from saying ooh and ah sounds, from trying to get a cookie, or yelling at the top of your lungs because your mom won't get you the Thomas and Friends Trackmaster Action Adventure Mountain train set you really wanted as a child. Speech. There are three main types of speech impediments: articulation, fluency, and voice disorders. Articulation disorders are the problems with the problems related to the anatomical and physiological limitations in the muscular, neuromuscular system, and skeletal. These disorders include omissions, substitutions, and distortions. Fluency disorders are the problems with the rhythm and timing of one's voice. The most common fluency disorder is stuttering. Stuttering causes the interrupts a flow of one's speech. According to the NIDCD, stuttering can affect all ages, as it is most common in children of 2 to 6, as in 1 in 4 will continue stuttering for the rest of their lives. Voice disorders are the problems with the quality of one's voice. Apraxia is the disorder that causes the muscles of the tongue, lips, and mouth weak. Dysarthria differs from apraxia, where speech muscles are weak due to brain damage. Aphasia makes the person unable to understand speech or written speech at all. With all these different types of speech disorders, when it comes to understanding the brain, it can help us understand how therapy can work to help these individuals. The brain is a complex system. There are different processes and programs. The formation of speech requires many different processes, from turning your thoughts into ideas, forming a comprehensible sentence, and then turning that to make the muscles, to send information to your muscles of your face to speak correctly. This is where the Broca's area comes to play. The Broca's area is located in the left hemisphere of your brain. It is mainly involved in turning your thoughts into ideas. It is most found to be the most trusted source right before you speak. The Broca's area also sends information to the motor cortex. To speak clearly, you must move the muscles of your face, mouth, tongue, lips, and throat. This is where the motor cortex comes into place. Located in the temporal lobe in the left hemisphere of your brain, the motor cortex takes information from the Broca's area and tells the muscles of your face, mouth, tongue, lips, and throat to move correctly. The Raytown area is located in the temporal lobe just behind your ear. Temporal lobe. The Raytown area is mainly involved in understanding speech and written speech. Speech therapy is the assessment and treatment of speech and communication disorders. Speech therapy is mainly done by speech and language pathologists, also known as speech therapists. There are both structured and unstructured activities. The activities that are more structured, more controlled, is when the speech therapist and the child are more focusing on a certain sound and letter. The activities that are less controlled, more unstructured, is when the child and speech therapist are more playing together, but also having that aspect of practicing a correct sound. With understanding all these different types of speech impediments and the brain and therapy, it can help us understand how these people go through this motion. With the stores, the grocery store, when it comes to speaking, talking, listen, and communication, we use a number of topics. But with a person that has a speech impediment tries to go to these places and speak for themselves, they get interrupted, bullied, and most importantly, their voice is stolen by others that think it's okay to interrupt them, which causes them so much harm on their self-confidence and productivity to speak at all. The added pressure of speech therapy can cause a child to feel more self-conscious about their impediment. They may become more hyperactive or act out and make therapy more as a punishment. Children can also feel more self-anxious and depressed, especially if parents and caregivers become impatient. As symptoms go on, it can manifest into a pathological such as a fear of public speaking and social anxieties. It simply comes down to addressing each child's problems and solutions. According to an article by Dr. Prevak at the Department of Communication Disorders at the University of Vermont, neglecting to address children's speech sound disorders will result into behavioral challenges, mental health problems, reading difficulties, and in-school retention, and grade retention, and high school dropouts. It is important for peers, parents, and caregivers to bear in mind that speech-language skills are developed at different times and at different rates. And a child will skip an age bracket and later on catch up or not at all. Marilyn Monroe, Emily Blunt, King George, James Earl Jones, Sam Neill, Joe Biden. All these people I just named have a speech impediment and struggle throughout their lives to speak clearly, but also succeeded and strive to become their best selves. Throughout the discussion, we have understood what speech impediments are, how they are treated, how they are developed, and most of all, the psychological damages it causes. Throughout these famous people's lives, they struggled, but they've also succeeded to overcome their mountain. as I have done that today. I have struggled to speak for myself all today. So, can you hear me now?